I can remember getting a great deal of satisfaction out of my job, which sounds a little bit warped to say as a soldier. It's something that some people won't understand, but as a soldier, you actually want to go and soldier. You want to lead paratroopers in combat because that's what you're trained to do. And I wanted to do that myself. And I took pride in doing that, and I was very fortunate to have the quality of soldier under my command that I did. I was leading an attack in Afghanistan on an enemy position, and during that attack I got shot in the chest by what's called a PKM, which is a heavy machine gun, and a 7.62 round went through the chest, and it severed the brachial artery which supplies the blood flow to your right arm, and it severed all the nerves to the right arm, which rendered the limb paralysed. So we have what's called standard operating procedures in the military. So whenever an incident occurs, you kind of go into autopilot and you know what to do to try and counter that, which we did, and the team out on the ground was very professional. And this mechanism kicked in, and we just went about our business, and it was the standard of the training, the standard of the skills that got me out alive. So I was very, very lucky. We did what's called a fight withdrawal, so I got back to an area of safety, and then a helicopter came in under fire to extract me. Got put onto the helicopter, went back to Camp Bastion, and it was in Camp Bastion, which is a hospital in Afghanistan, where I had 2 life-saving operations, and then went into a coma, and then came back to the UK. Had 2 months in Selyoke Hospital, recovering, and a further 4 operations, and then went to Headley Court, and over a 2-year period I then had a total of 13 operations, and got physically fit again, mentally fit again, because you go from being very busy on operations, commanding paratroopers is quite, it's an all-encompassing role, as I mentioned, to lying in a hospital bed doing nothing. So it's quite a culture shock. And you need to focus again. It doesn't necessarily mean what your focus is. You just need a new focus to concentrate on, so you don't hit a circle of decline and go downhill. And for me, that was competitive sport, and I was very lucky that I was in a position and I had the quality of instruction to be able to make a rapid transition to competitive sport. And that then led on to doing it internationally and the North Pole, and now I'm going to go and walk up Everest for a laugh, as you do, with a bunch of idiots who are equally stupid as me.
Obviously everyone remembers where they were at the time when it happened. I was actually in this room when I found out about it, and it was early afternoon, wasn't it, in this country when it happened. It was obviously morning over there. And I remember walking down to the school and meeting all the parents outside the school, and have you seen what's gone on? Oh, it's terrible, and all of this. Working for the fire service at the time, there was an awful lot of us who volunteered to go out to New York after that. First and foremostly to help, to help with the rescue operations and what have you. But the Americans didn't particularly need our help. They had enough people on the ground. But what we found over the next couple of months was what they really needed was support, and they really needed people to talk to, and they needed to know that the rest of the world was sort of with them and what have you. It is a really strange place to go to, the scene of a massive disaster like that. Obviously I've seen things on a very much smaller scale in this country, but nothing strikes you like the size of Ground Zero. You would think a building collapse. It's a building collapse. This was almost like a city collapsed. It wasn't just like a building. And I remember going up, because we weren't actually allowed onto the site, but I remember going up onto the top of the firehouse, the 10 house, which is right next to Ground Zero, which wasn't affected by it miraculously. And there was myself and the 4 lads from work, and there was a group of lads from Essex Fire Service, and we all went up onto the roof, and we just all stood in silence for like 20-30 minutes, just looking at the scene, looking at the scale of it. Some of the stories that the guys told us about, finding body parts and finding friends and not finding friends and wondering what's happened to them. It just really was a sad time.